Hello and welcome to the Slovak Snapshots podcast, created by Actuality.sk. My name is Zorislav Poliak and I'm bringing you the most captivating and important stories from across Slovakia. Each week we'll dive into the headlines that matter, from breaking news to heartwarming stories. So, whether you're local or a global listener interested in Slovakia, we got you covered. It is April 13th and you're listening to the Slovak Snapshots podcast. Peter Pellegrini will be the new president of Slovakia. Peter Pellegrini won the presidential election 2024 with 53.12% of the vote against Ivan Korčok, who won 46.87%. Pellegrini, who won in most regions except Bratislava, has the second highest number of votes in the history of presidential runoffs in Slovakia, 1,400,000 votes. Although Ivan Korčok lost, he received more votes than the victorious Ivan Gašparovič in 2004 and then Čaputová in 2009. But let's take a closer look at who is the new president of Slovakia, what has he done in his life to reach the presidential palace, and what are the cases associated with him. Born on 6th of October 1975 in Banská Bystrica, is a graduate of the Faculty of Economics at University of Matej Bel and the Technical University in Košice. He entered politics as a member of parliament for Smer Party in 2006 and later served as a state secretary of the Ministry of Finance and Minister of Education. After the parliamentary elections in 2016, he became deputy prime minister. In 2018, after a political crisis, he was tasked with forming a new government and became prime minister. In 2020, he announced the founding of the Hlas Social Democracy Party, which became part of the ruling coalition after the 2023 parliamentary elections. Pellegrini was elected president of the National Council of the Slovak Republic in October 2023. He also faced several controversies, including alleged unconstitutional land expropriation and construction on archaeological sites. As a digital leader, he has been responsible for many failed projects, but the most high-profile case he has faced is an alleged bribe of 150,000 euros for helping to push through the e-cash project. After the 2012 parliamentary elections, Pellegrini became the state secretary of the finance ministry. It is his tenure in the post that is associated with the biggest scandal. Between 2013 and 2014, the financial administration dealt with the virtual cash register project. It was to be supplied by Michal Suchoba's company Alexis. However, a change in the law was necessary. František Imrece, as the head of the financial administration, negotiated this with the state secretary Peter Pellegrini. According to Imrece, Pellegrini should have asked for a commission of 150,000 euros for enforcing the change, which should have been organized by Miroslav Výboh in a crystal champagne box. Both František Imrece and Michal Suchoba have testified to the police about the deed, and both of them remember a meeting with Miroslav Výboh in his office where he was supposed to tell them that matter was settled and Pele thanks. Pellegrini denies the accusations, but Miroslav Výboh is a defendant in the case. If the suspended amendment to the criminal code, which was pushed through by Peter Pellegrini together with Roberta Fica and Andrej Danko, comes into force, Výboh could avoid trial. After Pellegrini took office as prime minister, there was increased attention on his assets, specifically the purchase of a luxury apartment. Doubts were raised by the fact that around the same time, Pellegrini lobbied for the development projects of JNT and HB Ravis. He pushed for the projects to be classified as a significant investments. In this case, they do not have to pay a development fee to the city. In the last week before the presidential elections, former Prime Minister Igor Matović, who has long suggested that Pellegrini is a homosexual, also came out with new accusations against Pellegrini, accusing him of a love affair with member of the parliament and businessman Peter Náhlik, to whom Pellegrini allegedly has written his unrecognized assets, such as private jet or a luxury house in Bratislava. In addition, he also suggested that someone robbed Pellegrini's apartment in 2016, which was supposed to contain 7 million euros. According to Matović, Pellegrini should have been told by his colleagues that this was a warning because he didn't share the illegal bribes. Igor Matović also hinted at a sexual services with an underage boy in exchange for an iPhone. Despite these scandals, Pellegrini maintained a prominent position in Slovak politics and became president. The government wants to limit what even much more advanced democracies envy. One might not say it, but there is one division of democracy in which Slovakia excels. It is open sources and transparency laws. For example, we have a law that makes it mandatory to publish all contracts that the state makes. What is not secret must be public. However, open sources are a great tool for journalists, but also citizens. For example, we have a central register of contracts, a public list that contains basic legal and economic information about business entities in Slovakia. It allows the public to verify data on companies. Registration and administration of the register are carried out by district courts. Finstat is an online database that provides financial and economic information on Slovak companies. It allows users to get an overview of the economic health of companies, their creditworthiness, debts, or assets. The Register of Companies Accounts is a special register where companies' accounts and financial statements are recorded. This register gives the public access to data that provides an overview of the financial health and performance of companies. The Business Journal is an official publication that publishes legislation and important information about businesses, including changes of registered office, entry or exit of shareholders, liquidations, and other material events. It is an important source of information for business law and public administration. Enviroportal is an information system that provides the public with data and information concerning the environment in Slovakia. It includes data on water quality, air quality, waste, protected areas, and many other environmental indicators. The cadastral map is the part of the cadastral register which graphically shows the land, its boundaries, and the location of real estate on the territory of the Slovak Republic. The citizen can see, for example, the owner of the land or property or the burdens that the land has. It is an important tool for three-dimensional planning, legal transactions, and property management. The maps are available online for free via the cadastral portal. Information from the cadastral portal is often used by journalists to investigate the ownership of public figures or dubious businessmen who, for example, may have defrauded the state of the value-added tax. It is this open source, the cadastral portal, that the government wants to restrict. The institution justifies the restriction of access to cadastral data on the grounds of increasing crime concerning the misuse of personal data of owners of buildings or land. The data published on the cadastral portals are intended for browsing and should not be used for further processing operations on a large scale. For example, downloading completely entire data within the entire territory of the Slovak Republic. The state writes in the preliminary information on the legislative change. It also refers to the protection of personal data, according to which every natural person is entitled to know how and by whom his or her data is accessed. Information from the cadastre is often used by journalists to investigate the ownership of public figures or dubious businessmen who, for example, may have defrauded the state of a value-added tax. The cases of Ladislav Bašternák or Marián Kočner, about whom the murdered Actuality.sk journalist Jan Kuciak also wrote, are well known. If the state wouldn't introduce real restrictions on access to published data, lawyer for Transparency International Slovakia Jan Ivančík sees the upcoming changes in the form of introducing user login as mainly reducing the user experience or the possibility of machine searches of data. He also found the positive aspect of the planned modification. From his point of view, logging in users who have viewed the data could provide public institutions with the possibility of, for example, more efficient provision of evidence in the event of illegal use of such data. However, he stressed that user authentication should be balanced. Slav Kovski scores his first NHL hat-trick.
Slav Kovski! 1, 2, 3! Slav Kovski! 1, 2, 3! Slav Kovski! 1, 2, 3! Slav Kovski! 1, 2, 3!
Slav Kovski scored his first career hat-trick, and the Montreal Canadiens handed the Philadelphia Flyers their 8th straight defeat with a 9-3 victory on Tuesday night. Slav Kovski opened the scoring in Montreal after just 65 seconds, when he slipped his skate and connected on a shot by Mike Matheson. In the 29th minute, he made it 2-0 when captain Nick Suzuki found him all alone at the right post. 3 minutes later, he completed his first career NHL hat-trick, making it 4-0 for the home team. David Savard slid him a pass from his own defensive zone, and Slav Kovski didn't hesitate to face goalie Samuel Ersson. It was his 19th goal of the current season, in which he has played 78 games and accumulated 48 points. He played almost 15 minutes against the Flyers, during which he had 6 shots on the goal, 3 points and 1 plus point. After the game, he was named the game's first star and received a standing ovation from the Bell Center crowd. It was pretty loud and wild. Nice feeling to experience something like that. I've never scored a hat-trick that made people throw their caps on the ice. He told the overseas media, recalling a 3-goal night from his past, when the only one who threw his cap on the ice was his father. Slav Kovski became the second youngest player in Habs history with a hat-trick, and 6th to do so at age 20 or younger.
Savard right back to the fly line. He's got Slav Kovski for the hat-trick. He scores! Slav Kovski has his first career NHL hat-trick, and the Flyers are down 4.
Never boring Slovakia.
Did you know that Slovakia is a world power in terms of water reserves? After Austria, Slovakia has the largest natural reserves of fresh water. These are mainly the underground reserves of Žitný Ostrov. High-quality drinking water flows directly from our taps, and we are even one of the countries that flushes with drinking water. We really do have so much of it. And there you have it, another The Slovak Snapshots podcast in the books. We hope you enjoyed this weekly adventure to the newscape of Slovakia. Remember, knowledge is power, so go ahead and impress your friends at the next gathering with your newfound facts. But hey, don't take yourself too seriously. Life's too short not to enjoy a good laugh. We'll be back next week with more stories that will keep you informed and entertained. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep sharing those beautiful smiles.